Hi, I'm in South Florida and today I'm going to be starting seeds. It is the beginning of September, so this is actually the beginning of our growing season. We're opposite of temperate regions where summer is really like where things are taking off and doing well, and as fall goes on they start winding down. Right now is when we need to be starting our gardens, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Today I'm going to be growing sweet peppers, cucumbers, chard, and winter squash. So this is how you do it. I have a bag of compost. I have seed starters. I've just kept these. I don't like to buy things new for the garden because it kind of goes against sustainability and just doing everything you can. So I like to reuse the ones that I get when I buy plants. So I'm just using little starters. And then I have some good compost here. So I'm going to use all of this to get my seeds started. So basically what you do is you start by filling, you wouldn't fill it the whole way. You would fill it about 3/4 of the way. And then you put your seed in there. Hold on. It might be just easier to do it with my hand. There we go. Yeah, 10 times easier. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do is I have a sweet bell pepper here. So this one I'm really excited about. It's actually gonna be purple. So I think we're used to seeing like the green, orange, and red ones. And I saw an option for a purple one and I was like, that looks like it would be beautiful in the garden. So I'm gonna go ahead and start these. So it actually just looks like the seed that you would see inside the pepper. So you just go ahead and put each one in a little cell. And then once you have that in there, top it off with more compost. And when you're done with that, what I have here, one of the things that I have here is a pan that is ugly, I know. But again, in the same vein of not buying new things and just reusing things I already have, I have this pan and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here. So I don't have labels with me right now, but you should definitely label yours because you will forget. But the reason I'm putting it in the pan is because when you're starting seeds, you need to water them about twice a day because our environment is just so hot. Here, you need to water them about twice a day. I don't have the time or patience or like commitment to do that. So what I have done is I have done it this way, and this works for me when it comes for starting seeds. What I'll do is I will pour water in here and the cells will soak it up. It's a common thing when it comes to watering plants. It's called bottom watering. But this ensures that the seeds, if I pour some water in here during the beginning of the day, sometimes it'll last 1 day, sometimes it'll last 2, and it makes sure that the seeds are well watered without causing me too much extra work. So even though I am gonna go ahead and water these in to make sure that they're well situated, I wanted to show you this setup that I have because this works really well for me. The other thing that I do is I put them on a shelf. So when you're starting seeds in hot climates, one of the things you don't do is start them out in the sun, which sounds pretty counterintuitive. But if you're in a place like South Florida, you would never use something like a greenhouse because that just makes things hotter. And when you're thinking about a little baby seedling, essentially you're gonna fry it if you were to attempt to do something like that. So what you actually wanna do is put them somewhere where they're still gonna feel the heat. So in my patio on this shelf, they are still gonna get indirect sunlight and they're certainly still gonna feel the heat, but they are not gonna be directly in the sun, which is what you need. So we'll move them out little by little as they start sprouting. So the next thing that I'm gonna go ahead and plant is winter squash. So these seeds are usually quite large. And these plants are gonna, I am gonna do 6, but I will probably not plant 6 plants because they need a lot of space. So I'm just dropping them in here, but you can see how big the seed is. And then I'm gonna cover them with a little bit more compost, do the same thing. And then you can just do like that to make sure everything's situated, put it next to it. What I'm gonna do so that I remember what everything is while I get my labels is I'm just gonna go ahead and put the bag next to it so that I know exactly what it is. They're not gonna stay there, I'm not gonna water them in, but that way I don't forget what's there. That is something that happens to the best of us, so make sure to label your seedlings. So in this one, I got serpent cucumber, which means that they get really, really long. You actually shouldn't let them get that long because they probably won't taste good at that point. But I thought it was really cool that they do, so I bought this one. So same thing, just give each one its own little cell. Then cover it with compost. And the last one, which is going to be Swiss chard for today, okay? Cover it with a little bit more compost. And it's done. So I have a little extra one here in case I wanted to do any extras. These are looking good, so I'm gonna go ahead and water these in. I have this on camera, so I will know which one's which, but I'm gonna show you how I water them. So if you just pour some water in the bottom, they will soak up all the water they need just on their own. So if you're starting a vegetable garden in the tropics, South Florida, the islands, other places of Florida, and you're going to be starting seeds, go ahead and give me a follow. I'm going to be updating you every 2 weeks on how the plants are doing and planting new plants. So now that I've planted these and I've watered them, I'm just going to go ahead and put them on the shelf, and I'll let you know in 2 weeks how they're doing. Bye.